Marx talks about contradictions as situations where opposite forces or ideas are present in something that is growing or changing. It is like saying something is both true and not true at the same time, which does not make any sense. Marx used this idea to check if arguments or evidence make sense. He also said that there are different kinds of contradictions. He says sometimes these opposing forces in a system help it move forward, but eventually the conflicting nature of the system causes problems like economic crises. So, contradictions play a big role in how things change and develop according to Marx. Marx learned a lot from Hegel, who talked about how things change in a complex way. Marx thought that contradictions where opposite ideas clash were really important in this way of thinking. However, he was not entirely happy with how Hegel dealt with these clashes. He felt Hegel sometimes tried to smooth things over, especially when it came to the government and regular society. When Marx looked at how businesses and the economy work under capitalism, he saw a lot of contradictions driving the system. He believed that the way people make things, that is, forces of production, and the rules they follow, that is, relations of production, were connected but also clashed. Sometimes they work together smoothly, but eventually they start to fight. When better ways of doing things come along, it can lead to big changes like a whole new way of running the economy. Marx also looked at money and goods. He saw four big clashes in how they interact. For example, something can be useful on its own, like food, but also valuable for trading, like money. There are other conflicts too, like the split between buying and selling, and the fact that money can be both a general tool for trading and a specific thing with its own rules. These clashes are important because they can lead to disagreements between the people who make things and the people who buy them. Money sometimes seems like it has a lot of power over the producers. These conflicts are like a dance. They help the system move forward, but they also keep causing problems. Marx talks about something called labor power, which is like a special thing that workers have that can be traded and also leads to extra profit for the employers. This is a key part of how workers can be taken advantage of in the system. Marx also points out a problem with money when it is used to settle debts. There is a clash between the idea of money as a promise and the actual physical cash needed during tough times. This creates a conflict between the idea of money and its actual form as coins and bills. He also talks about how things get bought and sold. He notices that there are conflicts in these transactions, but they are actually necessary for the system to work. Only when these conflicts cannot be resolved anymore will the system change. Marx also underlines a big issue in capitalism: the struggle to make profits. He explains how this competition can lead to uncertainty and even joblessness, as companies want to pay workers as little as possible but also need people to buy their stuff. This problem, according to Marx, is built into the way capitalism works and cannot be fully fixed within the system. Some people say you can explain Marx's ideas using regular logic without using the term contradiction. While that is possible, it might miss the deeper tensions in a system that Marx points out using this idea of contradictions. So, while both ways can make sense, the way Marx uses contradictions helps us to see the inner conflicts in a system that is always changing.